Well, hello guys, Von Fry here with another Netflix slash this time Amazon Prime Video commentary track. We're watching Star Trek First Contact. If you'd like to queue this up for your viewing of Star Trek First Contact, be it on Amazon Prime or another streaming service, go ahead and go to 0000, in this case 00, and hit play now. And now you should be seeing your Paramount screen. I liked this. The animation was quaint, it wasn't overwrought. And there's a reason why I've foregone doing other Star Trek, skipping ahead to this one, and that is because of music. This is a movie in which Jerry Goldsmith does the score. And there is a point in the film pretty early on, first, 12 minutes or so, where you'll be hearing a theme from the first Star Trek the Motion Picture, that is. I do like the music here. We have this sort of blue in and out of focus void generated by the text. It looks like a movie's introduction. This is what movies used to look like when they had title sequences. Yeah, there's good addition to Star Trek lore with the music in this film. Most would say that this is the best Next Generation movie. There's not a lot of debate there because, I think Generations is maybe better intended than some would say. On paper, it sounds like it would be a decent movie. At least a lot of elements of it do. Then you have Insurrection, which is hot ass. Nemesis I haven't seen in a while, don't recall liking it much. We're going to find that Picard is riled. There we go. Music by Jerry Goldsmith. Picard's riled up by the Borg. I think that's understandable, but then he retains this action Picard thing throughout the TNG films, and it grows to be out of character for him. Or at least that's what many in the Trek community would say. From 1996, the special effects in this movie hold up pretty damn well. I think it's because there's a lot of miniatures in use. We get the first look at the practical model Enterprise E, right? I don't think they ever showed an Enterprise E at the end of Generations. Oh, do I really have to watch Generations again? I think it's not available in streaming right now for good reason. All right, we almost done with the titles. Come on. Directed by Jonathan Frakes. This really seems to be the best thing that the Star Trek license can do, is you let the number 2 guy, your Spock, your Riker, you let them direct. This is a really cool super zoom shot. I would assume this is like a giant construction, like a giant image in Photoshop stitched together. It looks pretty sweet. I could also surmise that it would actually look worse now with today's technology. You do have to keep an eagle eye on that. That is Picard in, I think, is the proper uniform for him when he became Locutus of Borg. There's also an introduction of a different Starfleet uniform in this film. Now, the thing about Picard and the Borg, this shot here, yeah, okay, so we have CGI, but it's a bit unnerving. The stuff going into people's eyes is something that has been found to really get a reaction out of people. We see right immediately here, Picard is aboard the new Enterprise, but he has donned a new uniform with this gray that I think a lot of people like. The stitching, and yeah, it's a dream, but it still kind of gets you. It's a little bit of an Aliens start. You start with a scare. This movie is a little bit like Aliens. If the Star Trek the motion picture was inspired by 2001: A Space Odyssey, this is more inspired by Aliens. You could see the sort of pleats in the across the chest there. That looks good. It looks like a futuristic but semi-formal officer uniform, although everybody gets one. What do you guys think of the Enterprise E? I've seen polls in which it was said to be one of the better Enterprises. I don't have much issue with it. You can see that the bottom section, like where that dish is, I never thought that was a dish until, frankly, a few months back. It always seemed like it had something to do with the drive, but that seems to be inspired by the Excelsior class. Our orders are to uphold the neutral zone. Oh, shit. All right, I had to turn on subtitles. I thought I had them on, and they're not working. And that cost me a couple seconds, so we're out of sync. Okay, subtitles. Why are you not on? There we go. It's so hard to do commentaries without the subtitles. I should be a few seconds behind you now. Although, frankly, I think a lot of people listen to these. They don't actually queue them up. I know that when I'm on a long car ride, or if you're on the train, whatever you be, you might listen to some commentary track on a movie you're familiar with. Practical model here. Looks good. Like I've said before, you introduce a lot of lights. You got the running lights, all kinds of stuff there. It makes miniatures look bigger. Picard playing the music loud, a little out of character for him. Riker seems to just kind of come in unannounced. Interesting. I think that one of the challenges of a Star Trek movie is trying to make them not look like episodes of the series. The cast of the original crew is so far removed from the series and the style that it wasn't much of a challenge. In the case of TNG, they used the same ship for generations as on the show. Some small changes here and there. They slightly updated the uniform, though the original uniforms they made had to get scrapped. And they ended up with very dramatic movie lighting that I think rubs some people the wrong way. Much stronger lights, higher contrast. This looks quite a bit different, though, and the ship is considerably different. Much more gray, silver, stone. There's some burgundy. I think our bridge is now more expansive. I don't know, does it look futuristic to you guys, or does it look like a future envisioned in 1996? You be the judge. Neil McDonough, this could be one of his first roles. He looks quite young here. What did they call him? Captain Hawk? Oh shit, it can't be captain. It's gotta be like lieutenant. So the Borg have set course for Earth. And Picard, having been more or less assimilated, it's sort of wishy-washy what he is as Locutus of Borg. It's like he's assimilated, but not all the way, because they needed Starfleet information from him, and they couldn't get it fully by erasing him, I suppose. But then you see some of these other Borg, and it's like, okay, so they have the implants. You assume it's stuff on the outside. But then they have stuff inside of them, like Data, the android. I can't believe I speak for everyone when I say there's Data side-eyeing, looking around for reactions to hell for orders. I've looked for it, and it's going to be hard to do, but somebody please give us a supercut. A Data in Star Trek TNG series looking sideways at and reacting with someone standing next to him. Like it happens in like the first episode. It's like, okay, I've ordered Riker to do a manual redocking of the saucer section, and then he like looks over to Tasha Yar like, oh well, here we go. It's an odd reaction. Oh, this looks a little cheap here, right? Like, you guys, your production assistants, fire off those extinguishers. Oh, grunting. Oh, man, I don't know if I entirely trust Worf's abilities to be a captain of even a small war vessel here, the Defiant. And the reason being that, I mean, come on, he makes it ramming speed. I don't know if ramming speed would do much here. Does ramming speed mean pull the Admiral Holdo? Because I don't think it does. Although, what's stopping you from just going warp into the cube? All right, can they not do that in Star Trek? Complicated fight to put together here because you're doing this in a sort of Return of the Jedi style with the miniatures. The Borg only send one cube? I haven't seen enough of the Borg in other things to know how many cubes they have. The Borg is considered the big villain of the TNG era because they can't be reasoned with. They defy everything that the Federation has put together for standards of living. Look at this. Giant door, throw the ball out. I think people have... You can find these ships for sale on occasion. And you can get pieces of the blown up Enterprise from Search from Spock. Things like that. You can get pieces of that stuff and it's going to cost you some dough. But I don't believe anyone has ever found the Borg sphere. Or if they did, it was dilapidated, destroyed after the movie. All right, so we have reunited the cast here. An important element when you're going to be trying to do a TNG movie, especially if you're going to have Worf also serve Deep Space Nine, as him and Miles O'Brien, they previous crew members of the Enterprise. Now, there was an important thing there that I overlooked, but you could kind of hear it when Worf is introduced aboard the ship. There is a Klingon theme that plays. Jerry Goldsmith uses at the beginning of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and then it comes back. It's a horn thing, and I didn't hum it right. Okay, now there are those who could question how time travel warps, how this works. They've gone back to a period following the sphere, shows them Earth completely assimilated. Population 9 billion. All Borg. Man, that is some high-tech computer right there. You can read that. Judging from this half... No, come on. You don't think that there's a warring side of humans on the other side of the globe? Okay, so they kind of cobble together an almost nonchalant time travel aspect. Like, oh yeah, sometimes when these big ships head towards the planet, they start to go back in time. You know, usually we use things to counteract that. They techno-babble their way into this time travel dilemma. The idea being here that the Borg, in their escape, head back to a time where they can assimilate humans more effectively. Is there a possibility there's only one Borg cube? Because this one just so happens to have the Borg Queen. Zephyrin Cochrane, whom Alfre Woodward, right? She's going to call him Z. I always liked her. James Cromwell here, one of the taller actors going. I believe he's the tallest actor to ever be nominated for Best Actor in a leading role. I think he was nominated for Babe, 6'7". Really, though, never got the lead in anything. Honestly, I mean, come on, the pig is the lead in that movie. This guy, he's in stuff, he's in things you may like, but he's never a big deal, despite being big. All right, so they're talking about this Phoenix thing, this ship they've kind of working on. Okay, so under these conditions, this sort of mountaineer Mad Max society, you're going to build a spaceship that can obtain warp speed. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, if what is it, Lieutenant Hawk here had more lines, you'd think he's joined the crew. He's going to be around for a few movies. They don't really add people to the Star Trek movies who stick around, Savak excluded. I mean, hell, Kirstie Alley even left after one movie. Boom, we're going to blow this up. And this is a pretty cool explosion. Ah, yes, the green flames of Borg. They went to a missile complex in Montana. What does that have historical significance? The data? Uh-oh. Everybody knows about this day. Oh, come on, Data. You really had to ask. Hey, we're asking for the audience, aren't we? Yeah, give us those civilian clothes. Man, the ship is dark now, isn't it? There is a lot of shadows aboard the Enterprise. Oh, you could kind of see they look a little fuzzy there in that composite. Oh man, how good of a stylist is the ship's computer? I'd be like, oh man, I didn't really want to have to wear that much coat. It's not that cold. Well, we got to make sure Cochrane's alive. He's the most important person of this time. Interesting looking missile. Not all of that aerodynamic. Dang, we're using guns. I need to get a better look at that piece she's got. I don't know, MP5? It's kind of surprising that bullets wouldn't do much to Data. Feints. I'm so tough, I fire on first sight. I mean, I also faint when I see kind of, I don't know, pearlescent dudes say hello. Oh wait, they have to be innocuous. There's oh well, there could be a sickness, whatever. Well, come up with some reason to have this gal aboard the ship. The ship has to launch because the Vulcans are surveying the solar system at that time and just so happen to notice. If you have warp capabilities, we are liable to come by and say hello. Oh, we are going rolled, like pushed up sleeves on LeVar Burton here. Not seen in the series. You also notice that Geordi does not have his visor. This is the first film for him to be with his eye implants, which get more or less some use. And not anything anybody couldn't just hold up binoculars for, if I recall, throughout these films. Touching history. Oh, but you can't touch it in the Smithsonian, huh? We do get a little bit of data growth in this movie. This movie, a bit more data centric as far as the plot's concerned, because the Borg are fascinated by him. There are some who speculate Data had some intercourse with the Borg Queen, though I think when she's blowing on his grafted on skin, it's a teasing remark. Oh, the interesting thing here about going back in time, you meet your heroes and you find out they're human also. Zephyrin just some drunk? But you're supposed to be the most remarkable human of this century. I like the way ships look flying by in a movie like this. I know it can look cleaner. It can look pretty good in the recent Star Treks, but there's a certain quality you get out of having models well done uh, going across. Now, how the hell did the Borg get aboard the ship? I just don't see this as viable, really. Like, okay, you had the shields up, you were engaged in conflict, but Borg snuck aboard somehow. You know, you could call them red shirts, but everybody's got gray on. Get down. A little bit of that horror element, huh? We went and we sent people off to their death. He can sense it. I still have that connection. Yeah, Starfleet was keeping him out of the action because they were concerned about how this could affect him, but in reality, he may be the best weapon against the Borg. And here is where number one will stay, working with Cochrane and trying to get this going. So you have to ensure that the launch goes as planned, and you have to stop the Borg. And there's the ship. You can see that there's no longer a neck section that in which the saucer attaches. Now it's integrated into one piece, but it's still, shockingly enough, it seems as though no matter what changes they make to the Enterprise, we can always identify it as the Enterprise. Isn't that amazing? I mean, the Millennium Falcon goes largely unaltered aside from a dish on the outside became square, didn't it? Or rectangular? It was circular. Check out this lighting over here. We don't want anyone tripping over our raised floor. Or sunken floor, is that what they call it? Yeah. Remember when the Borg first came aboard the Enterprise? They just kind of looked around because, oh, these puny humans, they're not a threat. We're just here to get their tech right now. It seems like only if you engage them are they going into battle, but at the same time they want to simulate everything. So which is it? Oh, she was better off on the ground. The EMH, Emergency Medical Hologram. I like this. It gives us a little bit of a tie-in to Voyager, although his uniform matches the Enterprise, and I would assume that'd be the case for whoever summoned him. Like, he's always going to have the appropriate updated uniform. Do a dance, tell a story, I don't care. Give us a few seconds. Look at how strong his hologram is, considering the composition. He's never see-through at any point, although he can blend through stuff, or people, or he's largely treated as just a person aboard. Is that more or less appropriate? I understand it's greatly in the future, but Blade Runner 2049, which I recently watched, they tried to keep Joy somewhat transparency vague. Like there's a lot of scenes where she's transparent to some degree, and that's never really the case for the Doctor. Yes, I've got my captain's tactical vest on. Everybody grab your giant phasers. I don't know if you have a need for big phasers in Star Trek, because it seems like the little unit is kill force already. You know what I'm saying? Rotating modulation. They can't adapt. Not as quickly. Means we're going to get a few shots in. Main Counter Enterprise members who've already been assimilated, go ahead and kill them. You'll be doing them a favor. Says the guy who got out of being assimilated. Is it a different kind of assimilation? Like, is there no turning them back? Like, how do you explain 7 of 9? Now the realization that your heroes are just bums. Though I don't know how much admiration she could have for the guy, as she's not a human, so... Though, isn't she half human? Half human, half betazoid? No, don't turn off. He's gonna throw glass at you. Riker finally found a guy taller than him. Who isn't, Deanna's mom's cuckold butler. The good stuff. How much good stuff could there be remaining in a period where I think the idea is that humanity has had a World War III at this point. Oh, it's strong. We're giving Deanna something to do, and that is being a little drunk. Though her drunk is a little sleepy. Something called tequila. We're interjecting a little bit of humor in the situation. Okay, so the computer said Riker is getting the sweet leather jacket. He's nuts. Professional opinion. Well, hey, you hit the jukebox and got it working. Maybe all he's got to do is just hit this Phoenix ship and it'll start working too. So they realize they've got their work cut out for them, but hell, the Enterprise has the blueprints. You got Geordi. Could you not fudge it and just give him a warp core? I mean, the important thing is getting the ship going, right? Not how it got there. Dutch angle as we walk seemingly down into the Enterprise. We're going into the depths. Oh, do these gals look expendable? There's a lot of conflicting information about how many decks are on this ship. I think that it's misquoted by multiple crew members. Makes you wonder how big the ship is. I think we're to assume it's the Enterprise always seems to be growing a little bit bigger than the D. In the previous movie, Data employed a chip that, although it honestly didn't. I think it was a good deal larger than the one it's shown in the series, where he has an emotion chip he could put on. I think he detunes it or had it removed. Was it? Because he's certainly acting more like his old self here. I do like Worf's look here with the hair, longer hair, braided in the back. Uh, the the nurse, or didn't she become a doctor too, or something? Yeah, she was on the series. She had a couple lines here and there, a few episodes. The Asian gal, can't remember her name, but late in the series, I think some stuff came up with her. Uh-oh, they see him. Borg vision. So useful. Just a distorted look, like it's going to actually help you. All right, let's follow them. Did they expose the paneling? Are they trying to... They're trying to make this place look more Borg. Like, how did they come about? And it's in this way that it does feel like aliens. The xenomorphs end up in the reactor on what, LV 246, right? 426, 427, Chevy Corvette, big block. They they end up redecorating. Like when they come aboard, they redecorate. I mean, they've got these tubes out of their back. Maybe there's some ooze that comes out of that, and they start painting the walls. How do the Borg redecorate? You send a few Borg, and now they're able to like change the wallpaper. Oh, but it's not as simple as throwing up something. It's like they're installing all these conduits. Where are they getting all the metal? Did they order the ship's computer to just build the stuff for them? Do they have those kind of... Does the computer give them permission to do this? You can see that though they look like they're just all metal. It's really... There's a lot of rubber. There's latex. There's a lot of give. There's foam. You see them jump down, thud, whatever. Taking over the ship, we gotta do something. But you start fighting them, that's when you're gonna get more trouble. Though you do want to fight them early before there's, too many of them. Finally, Worf is able to out-hit something. You know what? Worf is actually pretty competent in hand-to-hand combat in this. It always seems like he's able to beat the other Klingons. He goes to the tournament, he wins, that kind of stuff. He doesn't lose a fight. But when anything else comes aboard the Enterprise, especially early on in the seasons, first thing it does is whoop Worf's ass to show force. And just yanks the guy off the makeshift ladder. Don't let them touch you. Whoop. Shoop. That kind of getting pulled away. It's sort of the game plan of a movie like Aliens, isn't it? Oh no, we hardly knew ye. Oh, that looks gross. Oh, that's a gross effect. It left the holes on the neck, and ooh. They already got me. I'm changing. You gotta go ahead and shoot me. You got it, son. The thing about the phasers in Star Trek, did they become more humane and not disintegrate people and still deliver the kill shot? Or are we supposed to infer that it is a stun setting? What faction? I like her reaction here. It's understandable. You're essentially kidnapped and placed in an entirely outside the box scenario. What else would you do? Who are you to believe? All right, we built a machine here. In case we capture the android, we can do stuff to him. How you like what we did to your engine room, huh? Yep, in another month this ship will be a giant cube. You can't assimilate me, Borg Queen. Brave words. Okay, so we're about to be revealed. I believe this actress returns as the Borg Queen in a Voyager episode. Or maybe it's a two-parter or something. I need to watch Voyager. My problem is, past TNG, they don't have episodes. Well, Enterprise is in HD, but Deep Space Nine and Voyager are not HD, and it is aggravating to watch non-HD content today. So fuzzy, so off-putting. We're going to drill into you like you're made out of wood. Yeah, explain the drunk guy how this time travel thing happened and what's coming to get us. What would you call that hat he's wearing? It's on backwards. All right, we'll just show you our spaceship and then you'll believe us. Appears to be on fire. Wait a minute, that's no trick. It's your telescope. Yeah, your girlfriend cohort Lily's up there. Yep, we lost contact with him. We have a problem. There are films where I could see just this plot being the central focus. It is called First Contact. It's not called the Borg War or anything like that, right? But you could see a scenario where, okay, we came back in time, we messed something up, and now all we have to do is just get you to do what you need to do. A little bit like Back to the Future. Marty still has to work on returning to his time and righting the wrong of. I mean, it's not as simple as we need to tell you you got to do what you got to do. I have to get my parents to fall back in love with each other. He doesn't also then have to uh, fight some kind of battle elsewhere. You know, there's not multiple parties going back in time, multiple individuals assigned different roles. No, yeah, he does end up having a few side quests. Tell Doc to wear a bulletproof vest. Yeah, we're astronauts, kind of. Some kind of Star Trek. Ah, he said Star Trek. Maybe the first and only Star Trek film to say Star Trek. And I got all these stud plates on my hat here, signifying my, I don't know what. My phaser's jammed. I didn't know you had to reload these things. Varying states of decay on these crew members. Oh, you're getting your arms cut off and given lesser attachments. Not anything one would volunteer for, which makes you, if you were the Borg, you'd have to assume, oh, maybe what we're doing isn't that good, since no one wants to join us. Or is it just because they're primitive? They don't see the light. Nice little laser light show we got there. Borg, I don't know, monitoring systems. You know, the Borg seem to start off in these tunnels, and then they just avoid them. They're like, yeah, well, we don't need to use the tunnels anymore. I guess everybody else can. So easy to keep this weapon you've never used honed on somebody while they're crawling, huh? I got some news for you, lady. You're on a spaceship. You like our kind of like matte painting here of your planet? Kind of cool. Is she gonna believe him or not? Welcome aboard, Lily. She probably didn't have that thing on, right? Oh, come on. It was maximum setting. If you fire this, you would have vaporized me. She knew how to use the maximum setting. It's my first ray gun. May as well be. These things don't have more, I don't know, child-proof countermeasures. I realize she's not a kid, but maybe you should be a crew member to be able to use one. Like you could fingerprint scans, whatever. It's not glass; it's a force field. No, shouldn't it be transparent aluminum? Oh, there's more, I have to tell you. Yeah, there's a lot of history to cover here, but we do have more pressing matters. We've been hearing the Borg Queen, but she has not been revealed to us. Yeah, people were kind of fond of this shot here as she's lowered in. I think to pull this off, you have a mix of animatronics and yeah, there's definitely some composite work. There's some CGI. I am the collective. Hey. Doesn't it seem counterintuitive that the Borg would have a central leadership figure? They're the collective, and yet they're the ruled. It doesn't really sit well, does it? It seems like there's always a leader, no matter what. You know, Bernie Sanders wants to incorporate his communism, but he's going to be the leader of it. So that makes it okay with him. They don't evolve, they conquer. Simulating other beings in our collective, we are bringing them closer to perfection. They just didn't realize they want to join us. Simulated and stimulated. Oh yeah, we're going to give you some feelings. Reactivated the emotion chip. I should have removed that thing. I'm not frightened. Yeah, he seems quite happy, kind of. Uh-oh, we're giving you some skin. Appears you are attempting to graft skin on my endoskeletal structure. Whose skin? Did we take this from a little crewman? Oh no, giving him goosebumps. Was it good for you? Ooh. $150 planets across 8,000 some much. Yeah, she's asking a lot of questions. Borg. Sounds Swedish. One of the more popular lines from the movie. Yeah. You should realize you're in a pretty safe area when you come across a deck that doesn't have the new decorations from courtesy of Borg HGTV. How much does this thing cost? Oh, well, that's the tricky part. Under your President Sanders, we were able to put together the spaceship. Live in total harmony. Outside the reach of the GOP. Wealth is no longer the driving force. Yeah, well, if people are treated fairly, better ourselves, yes. Uh-oh. You know, the important thing about Lily here is that we establish quickly that she can do some badassery. She's firing a gun. She's not just screaming and fainting. Didn't kill you because you weren't armed. No sport. It's okay, Lily. They're just putting on some new wallpaper. We're going to go into the holodeck. He's picking a fight with them seemingly just to give an action sequence in the movie. The big goodbye. All right. Realistically, why did he need to get the attention of these Borg? And there's Neelix from Voyager without the makeup. Not real. For how long can the holodeck functions be working with the Borg working the ship over, huh? There was a little distraction here. You could see there was some a bit of a mat around them. Passable enough. Eagle eye viewer could pick up on it. How does Picard look in that white tux? Pretty dashing, eh? Act naturally. Act like we're in the 40s and there's no racial tension. That must be Nikki the Nose. What dermatologist puts that on you? Ooh, hologram getting feisty. Then there's a safety protocol in the holodeck that I don't think under normal circumstances one can turn off. It seems like that it could happen when there's something wrong with the computer. Yeah, how you guys like Tommy Gun, huh? Is that enough to stop you? And you can see this bloodlust in Picard pick up. You don't know how tough these things are. Yeah, you're gonna find some Starfleet uniform under there. All right, so this was the reason he lured them in. Ensign Lynch. I know all the names of people aboard my ship. To Picard, it's as good as shooting a zombie. A walker. Walker's at the fence. What do we do? Well, it's not like you know him. Just beat him with a mace. I need to get away for a second. Have me some whiskey. Almost looks like Jory's holding an iPad. I mean, not just the iPad, but you could see from the shape of what's on the back that. And it's not unlike my mom's iPad case. First chapter is called Zephyr Cochrane. I mean, you're kind of the guy. Is Geordi wearing Oakley sunglasses? I know from time to time they would have a kind of bug eye look about them. I think those are Oakleys. Ah, yes, I've got my mechanical eye thing going here, and yep, taking a look. That's Reg, isn't it? Barclay? It's written Barclay. Or no, Barclay. They call him Barclay, like Charles Barkley. Reg was an interesting character in TNG because he had this personality complex where he was very introverted. He would act out his fantasies on the holodeck, awkward around humans in ways that the other characters weren't. And it gave a representation to that kind of persona that you otherwise didn't see in mainstream television programming. Come on, I went to Zephyr Cochrane High School. This is like meeting Barack Obama and finding out he's just a crack addict. Your statue's going to be right where you're standing. Really, me. I do like the Zephyr Cochrane character. They gave him some flaws, but there's also a lot of responsibility he has taken here, and he's got to wonder if someone's ready to handle that. Suppose a future you or descendants come to see you and say, "But you're the most important person who'll ever live." Got to take a leak. Oh, right. Yeah. Not WikiLeaks, a different kind of leak, yeah. The ship's computer really likes them earth tones. Reports of my simulation are greatly exaggerated. A bit of a Mark Twain paraphrase. Control over half the ship. Interplexing. Yeah, we need to explain some technobabble to the audience now. They're going to build a link through the deflector dish and call the other Borg. This is where they decide to go into zero-G combat. Yeah. I remember it made me sick at my stomach. Really? Now there ends up being some kind of awkward continuity error or gaffes of sorts. I'm trying to recall what exactly about the zero G. Maybe I'll notice it when it happens here. It's Cochran. He's hitting the booze again. Okay, so this is what a spacesuit looks like in the 25th century, is it? Three of us. Two of us have extended credits and all that. You, not so much. Who gets to return? What's your caboose, dicks? I intend to, yeah. I think, yeah, aren't they going to walk on the underside of the dish to try to get to the deflector? Yep, there we go. Oh, yeah. All right, you going to give us an orientation shot? Yeah, there they are composited onto the model. It looks okay. Maybe in scale. Oh, there was a last frame right there. They really shrunk in size quick. All right, I had Audacity crash on me, and I'm resuming the movie from just after that frame where the crew, the three guys walking out, got real short, and now we have Data getting his hand put back together. I'm probably a few seconds behind you guys, and at this point, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to post this because Audacity just totally destroyed. I'm going to have to resort thousands of 6-second audio clips. So helpful that it saves stuff like that, not... yeah, do you always talk that much? Well, he kind of does. That's his thing. Organic is weak, huh? Then why are you trying to make him organic? Your goal shouldn't be to be like humans. You're better than them. You have no interest in me. You're just using me to get the encryption codes. It's got a good deal more skin on that arm now. Ah, yes. Is that something we can torture? Oh yeah. Now the fight's on. Oh no, pain. I do not know the sensation. Stand down. I'm not designed to process these sensations. She's manipulating him. And tear the skin from your limb as though it was defective, whatever. I'm trying to recall what else I've seen this lady in. I can't much tell. Doesn't she look a bit like a symbiote? Oh, God, Cenobite from Hellraiser? Perhaps there was some inspiration in that. Come on, she's talking about the flesh. It's very Hellraiserian, isn't it? Then we gotta make it all sexual too, huh? More Hellraiser-like, ain't it? It's been 8 years since I've used my fully functioning capabilities. It's a kind of a made a weird dual meaning thing there with the fully functional. You know, if you want to say nerd speak for get it on, right? A giggity. We're going to have a little kissy time. Uh-oh. Yep, they've made it. It's no time for reinforcements. We have to have an action scene. No, you'll damage the dish. Everybody's first suggestion has to be shot down. That's how you know you're the captain. You guys give suggestions, I'll shoot them down. It's a show of authority. No, he's running away. What are we gonna do? Just too much responsibility. Oh, nope. No taking a leak for you. I don't want to be a statue. I'm going to have to stun Zephyrin Cochran. Oh no, I'm bald. That's why I had the hat on. He really got drenched in a shallow creek. You told him about the statue, huh? So that's the dish, huh? Doesn't it seem like it's going to be larger than that? The Borg, not very perceptive. They're very focused. I mean, hell, they even kind of look at him. It's like, well, still mission priorities being what they are. I think this movie plays a little fast and loose with the assimilation process as well. All right, you guys just watch us disengage all these various parts. You go about your business. The assimilation, though, it seemed as though you had to be captured and brought in. And with this movie, they introduce, I feel like it's introduced, maybe it happened in Voyager, I don't know. Deep Space Nine may have had a Borg run, I don't know. But this idea that you can be just kind of physical contact, they can on site assimilate. Oh, this guy's getting blown away. Yep. Are we going to have to pick him up before we depart? Make sure there's no evidence left in the past. We don't need that thing somehow infecting another ship. The Borg have no issue being out here without any kind of space wear, huh? No decompression issues, no breathing issues. Doesn't that handle right there? Doesn't that look a bit like something you saw in Alien? I'm trying to recall. Was that like in Alien for their self-destruct or the self-destruct for Wrath of Khan? That kind of twist, engage? Oh, we're going to square off now. Switching the cards around makes me think of 2001: Space Odyssey. And up you go. I think Worf brought a sharp object with him. Aha. Ka-ching. I like how the cord is still spiraling out. Oh, but a cut to the suit is going to be a problem. Decompression. Now, there was also some nice blood coming out of the Borg. That swipe at the neck. Liked it. Oh no, Hawk, you're in trouble. Turn it. Come on, put up a fight, man. And that's the origins of M. Bison. Just kind of carried him off, huh? Do the Borg seem particularly tall here? Like, all the Borg seem sizable, don't they? I know that should be based on who they assimilated. We're gonna float across. Reactivate the gravity boots. Kadoom. Or are they magnetic? Yeah, that's probably more the case. I think the plan here, right, is to jettison the dish altogether so that, yeah, you launch this, now you can't use it. Goodbye. I would think if the ship is going forward, this thing should still press against and therefore not be launching. Uh-oh, dramatic turn. Yep, they got me through the suit. Oh man, not breaking the glass, really? Oh, well, there's a bit of a shatter there, that's a problem. Ooh, blast, just in time. Yeah, I like off screen he made do. You know, you had that kind of cord coming out from the guy's arm and he wrapped up the suit, and there you go. Now you go and shoot it up and it's gone. There you go. Now it's making some sense. Oh, look, guys, a flying saucer. Now that's away from the ship, we can use full force. Yeah. We got kill lines now in Star Trek. Assimilate this. Yeah, well, I suppose maybe that's the right size. Maybe you could possibly envision it being larger. Alright, so after we hit you with stun, you ready to get your act in gear here? Alright, we got our kind of NASA-esque flight suit going. Oh, we're looking at it. 50 million people living on the moon now. It looks different. Tycho City, Lake Armstrong. I wonder who that was named after. Not Lance Armstrong. You guys got some funny ideas about me. Yep. Imagine all the people in the future listening back on this, thinking maybe Von Fry wasn't the most amazing emperor ever, but darn close. Dollar signs, money. I didn't build this usher in New Humanity. You think I want to get rich. I don't even like flying. A tropical island filled with, I don't want to say because YouTube censorship. Yeah. YouTube, where censorship is the thing. Damn, quite the prolonged conversation here, eh? Riker didn't get into the fisticuffs, didn't get a lot of action, but he did get to stun Zephyr Cochrane. 58 minutes, Doc. You better get on the checklist. Man, this guy looks like he's been to hell and back here. We got a glorified red shirt still alive and talking. Dude, what has been going on at this guy's outpost? You kind of see how you can unzip that uniform from the way the disheveled guy comes in. No, I'm getting angry about the Borg. We're gonna stay and fight. Your objection is noted. We're still doing it. Oh man, did Worf's eyebrows get funky here? They never really could make up for their mind what to do with his eyebrows. I think his nose would also occasionally change. If you were any other man, I'd kill you. Whereas, get off my bridge. You're just a visitor. You're not really assigned to the Enterprise anymore. You went to that little ship that got blown up. Loyal to the captain. I'm gonna go talk some sense into him. You SOB. That might be the first SOB in a Star Trek. No one understands me. Moody teenager Picard. Now he's going to catch her up to speed here in case someone watching this movie didn't happen to be a fan of the series. Every trace of individuality erased. I was one of them. So what? So it's like, was he fully Borg? So these people could have been turned, but instead we dispose of them. In my century, we don't come to some revenge. Well, we kind of are. Oh, he was certainly enjoying it, lady. There's no way to save him. Oh, hey, someone saved you. Can we admit that much? Captain Ahab has to go hunt his white whale. Captain Ahab, Moby Dick, big time theme in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Oh yeah, this is meme Picard here. I don't think previous Enterprise had gold models. There were models of previous Enterprises. I don't believe they were gold. Kind of seems like sacrificing the Enterprise is a win, though. The humans live. First contact resumes. Borg gone in this time. Does that... and people say, oh, well, you wipe out the Borg here, then there's no Borg later. No, they made it pretty clear that the Borg were intended to use the dish to contact the Borg of this time to send reinforcements. I broke the shit out of that one. Let's quote some more Moby Dick, just as we were doing in Wrath of Khan. Actually, I never read it. I like that response. I'm aware of the story, didn't read it. Don't they get a makeout session? I could be mistaken. I thought there was a love interest thing going with Picard and her. Gonna change my mind, huh? Gear up, kids, for a time when space travel was thrilling. His self-destruct is Picard 47 Alpha Tango, he said. It was so weirdly simple for Kirk, like code 0100001A. Like it was like, okay, we didn't search very far for this. Ooh, a silent countdown. That'll surprise him. But we just got this ship, guys. We're already gonna blow it. So that's what the escape pods look like, eh? Could have fooled me. I thought it was just simple wall. Think they'll build another one? Plenty of letters left in the alphabet. This is true. Curious that Worf would rather they blow up the ship and flee than die the Klingon battle way that he always insists upon. All right, crew, you have your orders. You have to go live lives out in the wilderness, talk to nobody, make no impact on society, and live out the rest of your days. Almost a death sentence, or a prolonged prison term in a way, huh? Say goodbye to the ship. We hardly knew her. But Data has something to say. What? Data? Data's still here? We may have to make changes. I suppose the Borg could shoot down Zephyr's endeavor here. If they have controls over the phasers. They're trying to get to him anyway. Now I remember what I was forgetting. And it's his liftoff music. Steppenwolf, Magic Carpet Ride. Oh, not on a CD, not on a mini disc, not on a chip, not already there. This is before we really had the idea of putting the MP3s out. I think the audience liked this song and liked the idea of him partying up. There we go. Not a bad looking shot at all right there. I swear I've seen this on television with the song replaced. Not... Now look, this is like studio version Steppenwolf. It sounded like a Guitar Hero made famous by Steppenwolf cover, but of an anonymous band. And I've heard that on television. I have since, in seeing this on TV, specifically to watch the song part, and it was the correct song. I honestly have half the mind to sit through the credits to see if it says Steppenwolf performed by up there. In fact, I may just do that. We got the nacelle, warp nacelle look going. Look at those good old switches. And we're going to go for a quick jaunt. Quiet corner of North America. Wait a minute. You're not leaving, are you? I'll let you guys leave. I owe him at least 15 minutes. Go find your friend. He said someone. It's almost like, oh, yeah, I've got a love interest, so we're not going to make out. Oh, sweet escape pod sequence. The door in which they're exposed, those windows go with the pods. I think there's another escape from a Federation ship in which the doors fly up and then the ships come out. And then the flap comes back down. Uh-oh. We're going to keep an eye on this one. Was this the shirt he had on under his vest thing? Because I feel like he's changed shirts during the course of this movie. Why'd you have to go paint everything green, guys? Come on. I was just getting used to the vibe in the engine room. Isn't this familiar? A different look at that opening eye surgery thing there. Different shot. It was all gray. And we kind of retconned the Borg Queen into existence here, as though she was behind much of this on the show, and that they've prior knowledge. You know, she was certainly lifted into perhaps a new body. The torso was planted into the rest of the body. So is this some crew member of the Enterprise? Hey, that's compatible. I'll just slide into that. It wasn't enough that you assimilate me. I had to give myself freely to the Borg. Now, we had a romantic thing. No, don't be silly. Bridge the gulf between humanity and Borg. That's why I still had some of the abilities, but I fought you. Oh yes, the life you denied him. How amazing it would be, stiffly walking about, unable to sit. Let Data go, I'll take my place at your side. I owe it to him. We will add your distinctiveness to our own. She says it so seductively. Welcome home, Locutus. Look at the way particularly on her Borg makeup, it's like their little arms digging into the flesh. Very much that Cenobite look. You see Data as being more human than human, more human than... Oh, he's still got some of his abilities. Big year for Brent Spiner. Also was in Independence Day. Not a lot of Brents. Oh, it's not enough that we grafted on the skin. We changed out the eye. He'll make an excellent drone. It looks like the skin is over him, and I think maybe some of it's built up that way on Data's face application. But I'm assuming much of that is exposed. Because they don't really put a big application over Data. Maybe hair. Otherwise you paint them up. And there's our ship. Uh-oh. Enterprise is looking to shut this down. Relax, Doctor. They're just here to send us off. Are the crew on the ground totally unaware of the Borg threat aboard the Enterprise? They've been out of contact. That shouldn't have been the case. Relax. They're just here to send us off. That's a bit grainy. Watch your futures end. Ah, that could be a Marvel futures end. Yeah. Oh, missed. Data must have done it on purpose. Resistance is futile. Bam, turns it around on her. CGI smoke. Honestly, CGI smoke has not improved. It looks the same. CGI smoke, not impressive stuff. So it's pretty impressive for 96 that it still looks like, 2016 CGI smoke. Picard now wearing his Die Hard shirt. Got to climb into action. Okay, maybe some of that smoke looks a little weak. He's screaming. He's never been to warp speed. I mean, come on, Riker and Geordi, this is nothing, right? All right, lady, how well do you trust your handyman? That stuff has torn away the organic on Data. He's exposed android parts there. Of course, he has a very resistant pearlescent skin. I think that with the Borg, though, they are an organic. So, yeah, she's going to have a different reaction. Pretty gruesome. I think. Is this a PG-13? Many of the early Star Trek films, PG. I thought at the time Star Trek 09 was a PG also. Evidently it's not. Though Tron Legacy PG. And it's kind of a hard PG, to be honest with you. I kind of like the idea of the PG because when something risque happens in a PG, you don't expect it at all. When a PG-13 is there, you expect, okay, we're going to get our one F-bomb. We're going to have a bloody death, but cut away. We're going to have a lot of shooting at stuff and then falling on the ground. As I say this, there's a Mulan remake coming to theaters, I think this weekend. Yeah, running around with swords, slashing at people, and nothing happens. It kind of, and I'm not familiar with the Mulan tale or the old film. What was it, 97, 98, something like that. Didn't watch it, but from the trailer, it looks like they're trying to do Disney's version of Hero. The John Emo film out of China. There's the Borg. The Borg Queen, mighty, huh? A little bit of a Predator-style trophy rip. Get that spinal column. If I break it here, that'll shut things down. Kind of Terminator-like looked about that, ain't it? I'd imagine I look worse than I feel. Yeah, of course. His underskin here is pretty in keeping with the way he appeared in the series when they would show these parts. A lot of lights going on underneath, though there isn't really any reason to have lights. I was tempted by your offer, but like you, I resisted. .68 nanoseconds, yep. For an android, that's nearly an eternity. This little quip, yeah, give me your hand, yep, let's go. Can't believe that that gal made me roll my sleeves up like this. I feel like Chief O'Brien is the inventor of the sleeves rolled up, because when he departs from the Enterprise to go to Deep Space Nine. I did watch the Deep Space Nine pilot, and it was really good, actually. Probably the best of the Star Trek pilots. But the thing is, as soon as he gets transferred, it's sleeves up, man. Everybody got your coat on. You're in Montana. You're kind of wondering, what is this? What's going to happen here? Oh, not the best looking effect there. It looked like we were going some CGI about that. It's like, okay, so the first contact, so these things then decide, once you've somehow landed your ship, you made your successful flight, you've somehow miraculously landed. Now we want to talk to you. And how fortunate we are that the Vulcans initiated the first contact. I feel like, and I had discussion with this on Xbox Live the other day, that intelligent beings capable of coming to us, they're going to be one way or the other. It's going to be an exploration, discovery to them, seeking new life, or to conquer, gather resources. It's going to be luck of the draw, guys. You make endeavors out there to reach into space, you don't know what you're going to get. Oh, look, holding hands. We got a little bit of a biracial thing going. I could have sworn she had a makeout session with somebody in this movie. Jerry Goldsmith firing away. Vulcans, oh, you have found a human particularly tall. Do not pretend that all of us are this size. And we don't realize they're Vulcans till we see the ears so much. The live long and prosper. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll try to do that. Didn't he say put her there? What does he say? And a handshake. Thanks. We need a discreet exit. Yeah, well, I think the Vulcans could pick up on a lot of this stuff. Don't the Vulcans see the Enterprise sitting out there and think, oh, we'll come visit them because they have that? Forget this little thing, this ship going warp. Look what they've got. They've got a Federation ship from the future. I shall miss you, Lily. Oh, I think they're gonna, yeah, no, a little peck on the cheek. Yeah, you could see they were a little out of focus, a little fuzzy right there to get that shot in for the transportation. Look how quick they're able to do it. In the newer Star Trek, granted, it takes place in the past compared to this, but it's a slower process to beam out, ain't it? Got to get him fixed up. Yeah, we're just going to willy-nilly travel back to the 24th century. Yeah. Engage. No, make it so. There we go. Parting words, right? Everybody pose for your picture. And off we go. Why did it have to be a green spark like that? I want to show you guys what bourbon tastes like and tequila. Now let's play some music. All right, so we got about an hour 45. And how far into the credits are we going to have to go? 5 minutes to see if it's an actual... Oh, there we have the familiar Star Trek music. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it kind of kicks in there. Is that last piece? That's kind of like you had to blend two of them together because I'm trying to think where did that piece? The way that starts is very much associated with the first gen movies. Even though I realize that this song is from TMP, the motion picture. We didn't really have a lot of Borg. Just look at that. So few Borg. More stunt Borg than Borg. I was watching, what is it, Knives Out yesterday, and the font on the credits was so small. Is that going to be the big move with the closing credits? To have, it says additional music, Joel Goldsmith. I'm wondering if that's son of Jerry, but if you have a whole ton of credits in movies these days, right? You make them real tiny. These are huge, but compared to today's credits. Make them tiny, you can get through that roll quicker. Especially when you have to like credit a whole lot of Patreon or Kickstarter funds, right? And now we're back to the music from the beginning of the movie. How would you like to be an apprentice editor, guys? I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing next here. I have a mess of files to get through on Audacity because I was about an hour 2 minutes into this when I had Audacity crash on me. I'm going to try to transfer all that to a newer computer, download a newer version of Audacity, which will hopefully have an auto recovery ability. That is, if I have a Mac new enough to be able to download Audacity still. Because the current one I have, I can't update on my 2007 MacBook Pro. But I have a Mac that's running Sierra, I think. El Capitan, Yosemite, something like that, I don't know. Whereas my main computer, where I started the recording on, is on Snow Leopard. Yeah, back when they had the cat names. Oh, so many more optical super negative super things that are not things anymore. And this was at a time when we had like one effects house would do the computer effects in a movie. Now we have an effects house for this kind of effect. We have one that does only the composites. We have one that only does the on-screen simulation images. We have only the title sequence. We have additional de-aging process makeup, whatever. We have color correcting outfit out of here. Digital visual effects by Vision Art. Yeah, I mean, there's some things here, but I think when this ILM, I think, made the Enterprise E. Yeah, I mean, there's a few additional things here and there, but not like today's movies. Okay, we're looking for the music here. Theme: Star Trek, the motion picture, Jerry Goldsmith. Theme: Star Trek TV series. Slightly different. Magic Carpet Ride, performed by Steppenwolf. Mystery solved. All right, guys, till next time, adios.